Good afternoon. My name is Leslie Guthrow. I am the Senior Manager of Community Relations for Fidelity Investments in Merrimack. And I wanted to welcome everybody. I see many familiar faces here to our second annual School Transformation Day of Service at Elm Street Middle School. They tell us it's Nashua, New Hampshire. I'm thinking it's a little bit more like Texas this morning or this afternoon. And so for that, I really appreciate you being out here in the heat and joining us today. I'd like to recognize some of our nonprofit partners who helped to put this event together with Fidelity. We partner with Hands-On Network, and a local affiliate is Boston Cares. The folks in the morning that volunteered know them well. They're a group in our yellow shirts, and they are absolutely incredible at putting together large-scale transformation projects for volunteers. So here we have with us Sarah Hamilton, who's back there. Raise your hand, Sarah. She is the Senior Manager of Corporate Programs. And Rick Walwork, he is the Associate Director at Boston Cares. Thank you. Locally from my team, I'd like to introduce you to Betsy Brew. She's Vice President of Community Relations. She should be around. Oh, she's up there on the platform. Joe Murray, Senior Director of Public Affairs. Can you tell we're all wearing the same kind of shirts? And Tim Burrell, Senior Manager of Community Relations in Boston. He's right back there. And I'd like to recognize Superintendent of Schools, Mark Conrad. Thank you so much for letting us here today. I know he's going to speak momentarily. Principal Colette Valad. Is she here? I saw her coming in. She's around. And Stacy Hines, who is the Director of Community Relations for the Nashua School District. So as I had mentioned earlier, this is our second year of partnership with Elm Street Middle School. We have done a lot of work. If people are here for the first time, you may notice that this school is extremely large. It used to actually be Nashua High School. And the walls outside used to be a light gray color, and now they are called vanilla ice cream. And that is as a result of all of the Fidelity employees. At the end of today, we'll have 465 employee volunteers who have come into the school and helped to paint these walls in the classrooms today, paint inspirational murals, do landscaping, all of the things that it takes to help physically transform the learning environment and help revitalize students and their successes in school. But what we're doing here today is being replicated across all of the 10 regions where Fidelity has business operations. We have Hands-On Network working with the community relations teams in each region, as well as the Fidelity employees to help serve students in different schools. Another interesting statistic is that at the end of today, 7,000 square feet of wall space will have been painted, and we'll have used 325 gallons of paint. So that's pretty impressive. I'm gonna turn the mic over to Joe Murray, but before I do that, I wanted to let you know, you may have seen some items right here, and it gives me great pleasure to announce to you that we will be donating 30 PCs and LCD projectors and 15 laptops through the Fidelity PC donation program. These will be used by teachers and by students. And then there's a smaller stack of paper here, and we have about 40 reams of paper that we'll be donating to the teachers as well. So at this time, I'd like to invite Joe up.
Thanks, Leslie. And if those laptops are as hot here as they are at Fidelity, we know they're going to go quickly, right? So good afternoon, everybody. First, I just want to echo Leslie's words and give a warm salute, and I should change that, a very hot salute to our Fidelity volunteers for the gift of their time and their hard work. Your endorsement and the support of Fidelity's community commitment is making such a deep impact on this school and the more than 1,000 students who attend school here. In a moment, we'll hear more about that impact from some special guests, dignitaries who also chose to be here today because of your efforts. Earlier this morning, the mayor of Nashua, Donna Lee Lozo, was here. We were able to give her a tour, and she was able to talk to many of the volunteers who were here on the morning shifts, and she wanted to be here to thank you for your service. From New Hampshire Senator Jean Shaheen's office, we have Maggie Luzarder here today. And from Senator Kelly Ayotte's office, we have Gwendolyn Cassidy here today. So thank you very much for your time and for being here to see our volunteers in action. We also thank officials from the Nashua School District for being here to witness the continued transformation of the Elm Street Middle School. So just briefly, why do we do this? Some people might ask, why not just cut a check and ask others to do the work? Well, in case you didn't know, Fidelity Investments in Merrimack has about 4,600 employees. Hundreds of them live in Nashua. Some of them are here today, and some of the people here today actually attended this school. Is there anyone in the room who spent time at this school? Look at the hands. This is great. So you're coming full circle. So Fidelity has spent a lot of time, research, and effort identifying the need and shaping a program that is serving America's middle school students in multiple ways. Yes, there are dollars involved, but just as important is the philanthropy of the human capital that comes from our workforce, the expertise of our volunteer mentors, the handiwork of our painters, technology experts, and weekend landscapers, and the vision of a company that understands that middle school students always have been and still are at a critical turning point in life. They are our future. The path that they begin to choose today will determine the success of tomorrow. So Fidelity, through its unique community relations strategy and through its employees, are helping to build those bridges. And this is being done with your work here today, and through the many partnerships that we have made with New Hampshire nonprofit organizations that share our commitment to education, career pathing, and academic excellence. We hope that you and others gathered here today can recognize and celebrate this example of what can be created by the combination of thoughtful ideas, the spirit of philanthropy, and the power of a growing and dedicated workforce. Today, the whole is truly greater than the sum of its parts. So thank you very much. And right now, I'd just like to bring up Maggie from Senator Shaheen's office. She has a few words to share from the senator.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you so much for having me here with you today. It's an honor to be here. Senator Shaheen's very sorry that she couldn't be here in person, but I do have a letter on her behalf that I'll share with you quickly. Dear friends, I'm sorry that I'm unable to join you today for Fidelity Investments Transformation Day of Service at Elm Street Middle School in Nashua, but I would like to thank everyone who has gathered here today in support of this important initiative. As you know, educating our young people is the most important investment that we can make in our future workforce. Your efforts today to help revitalize the Elm Street Middle School will help students thrive in a more comfortable, safe learning environment and give students the tools that they need to succeed in today's global economy. I would like to thank Fidelity Investments, the Hands-On Network, Mayor Lozo, Dr. Conrad, Principal Valade, and all of the teachers, students, and volunteers for all that you are doing to make New Hampshire a better place to live and raise a family. Once again, thank you for all that you are doing to strengthen New Hampshire's quality of life. I wish you all the best as you continue your good work. Sincerely, Jean Shaheen, United States Senator. Thanks.
Thank you, Maggie. Those are kind words, and rest assured that they'll have a prominent place on our campus of Fidelity, as will the letter from Senator Ayotte. And Gwen, do you want to come up? Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Joe. The senator as well is down in D.C., but she has asked me to read a letter on her behalf. Dear friends, it is with great pleasure that I join all the hardworking volunteers and community members here today in celebrating the revitalization of Nashua's very own Elm Street Middle School. Education is so important to the future of New Hampshire and the future of our nation. I would like to thank Fidelity Investments, the Hands-On Network, Boston Cares, as well as the many students and faculty of Elm Street Middle School for seeing this vision of a better environment for children to grow and learn through to fruition. Your collective commitment to the advancement of our state's education is extraordinary and could not be possible without everyone's enthusiasm and generosity. On behalf of myself, and more importantly, all of the students whose educational experience will be enhanced by your work here, thank you. Sincerely, Kelly Ayotte, United States Senator. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate the support of our entire congressional delegation, who obviously are working hard during a very important time in Washington and for our country, as well as the legislators that represent Nashua on the state level, who also are enjoying some well-deserved time off after a long session. But again, this is about you today, and I'd just like to continue the program with the superintendent of the Nashua School District, Mark Conrad. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. As I remember last year when you were here in the middle of the summer, it was the hottest day of the year. Once again, it's the hottest day of the year, so I'm awed at Fidelity's ability to predict the hottest day of the year to pull you all out of your air-conditioned offices. This is very exciting for me, and let me tell you where my excitement began. When I was walking up to the building, I looked at the work that was going on at the front. Now, when I got to the district 2 years ago as a new superintendent and looked at the overgrown bushes at the front entrance of the building, I asked our plant operations crew if they could come in and at least cut them back. And we just don't have the resources to do more than that. So when I came in today and I saw the flower beds being built and the work that was being done at that front entrance, it may seem like a small thing, but it's a really big thing. It will send such a different message to every visitor and student and staff member walking through that front door. When I look at the donations of technology here, to give you a sense of what that means for us, 2 years ago, based on year after year of budget reductions, we have 3,000 computers in the district. Our replacement budget was $10,000, and a third of our computers were 12 years old. We've made some strides in technology, but we're still only funding ourselves at about 2/3 of what we need to replace a computer every 6 years. So for this technology to come through the door, which ties right into our dreams for what we want to do in updating instruction for the 21st century for our students, is a huge piece. Beyond the tangibles, and you've made such a difference in the climate starting next year when you started brightening up the hallways and now you're adding the murals. Beyond that, the intangible piece to that, and this echoes what Joe was saying, it just mirrors the importance of the message to our students that there's an entire community of people out there who care about them. And as equally important as that is for our students, it's an important message for our staff as well. Teaching is a difficult profession, and teaching the middle school is clearly the most difficult piece of the teaching profession. So when our faculty come back and our staff members come back in the fall to see what you've done, that sends a message that their work is valued by the community as well. And what's amazing to me beyond that is the scope of what you've done. I left for a few years, but I started out here 15 years ago, and in those 15 years, I can't remember a volunteer effort that has accomplished this much, but more importantly, you keep coming back to the point where we now have a partnership, and one we know we can build on with you to really make great gains for our students. So for all of that, and for your willingness to come out on the hottest day of the year and do this work, on behalf of the Nashua School District and our board and our students and our staff, I want to thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm now going to invite the principal of the school, Principal Colette Villard, to say a few words.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. The one thing about being last is that everything that I wanted to say has already been said. So I'm going to be very short and brief. I'm talking on behalf of every student and teacher, the entire Elm Street Middle School community, when I tell you thank you so much from the bottom of all of our hearts for what you've done for us. This is my 4th year. I'm coming upon my 4th year here. And when I first arrived, the building, to say the least, did not look like a middle school. It was one in which we had battleship gray paint everywhere, and there just was not signs of light. By painting, placing the murals on the walls, by also including inspirational sayings and quotes, it has lifted the spirits of our students and our teachers, and it's made a major difference. The Transformation Day 1 that occurred was one in which students walked into the building and couldn't believe that they were in the same place. And this year, they'll be able to walk into their classrooms and see brightly painted walls. They will also be able to see the murals, which will tell them, as they know, and what we try to inspire, that they are the most important people here, and that's why we are here every day. The technology will also be greatly appreciated and welcomed by all that are here. So thank you so much. I am glad that we're inside as opposed to outside than we were last time, and again, your work is so appreciated. Thank you.
So this concludes our formal remarks.
So what you're looking at right now is our Fidelity employee volunteers painting a hallway. This, I believe, is the last hallway in our 2-year-long project here at Elm Street Middle School, where our employees are painting. As we mentioned, this transformation effort and partnership between Fidelity Investments and the Elm Street Middle School has been going on for 2 years now. Last year, we had more than 100 volunteers who spent a day and actually multiple days here at the school painting the ground and first floors, several classrooms, display cases. Outdoors, they transformed the school's interior courtyard, which still looks great today, and our volunteers are out there again. They have been in this near 100-degree heat, weeding, raking, taking the wheelbarrows in and out of the courtyard, just sprucing up the grounds. Those picnic tables that you might be able to see out there also were donated and assembled by Fidelity volunteers. All of that was done last year. What you're seeing here today, and this is actually the main day of our transformation effort. We've had 2 days leading up to today with Fidelity business units coming in and really prepping the school so that our volunteers today don't have to tape and lay the drop cloths down and all of that. They can get right to work. So Carolyn, do you want to just tell us a little bit, first of all, what you do at Fidelity and then why you're here today?
I work in health and insurance as a client service analyst, and I'm here today because I grew up in the Nashua area. A lot of my friends went to this school, and it's also a way to give back, and it's a great opportunity. I didn't know it would be 100 degrees, but it's fine.
That's great. Now I see a little paint on your face.
Yeah,
is that by
more
design?
paint. Yeah, it was accidental at first, and then I just had fun with it. So
It's giving you energy and the spirit to do. So what is it that you're doing here specifically? And
I'll be painting in the ground floor hallways today. So I mean, it wraps all the way around. Plenty to do.
That's right. And
Yeah.
how are you a frequent Fidelity volunteer, or is this your first experience?
This is my first experience doing like the manual labor. I did the Fidelity MS ride last year, so but yeah, this is my first time at Elm Street.
That's great. And how's it going in terms of the organization of the project?
It's great. We just got popsicles, so it's fabulous.
Okay, in July 2010, Fidelity Investments in the Hands-On Network, which is part of the Points of Light Institute, announced a new partnership designed to help revitalize the learning environments in middle schools in regions across the U.S. in which Fidelity does business. The program expanded Fidelity's commitment to help middle school students achieve academic success and pursue their own unique paths to colleges and careers. The middle school years play a critical role in keeping students inspired and on track to receive a high school diploma. And while we believe that all kids have the potential to succeed and make this happen, not all of them have the opportunities, environment, or support systems to get there. In 2011, Fidelity is building on that success, and we'll continue to partner with Hands-On Network, our local action center, which is Boston Cares, and middle schools by planning, coordinating, and staffing the second annual series of Transformation Days in 10 cities around the country. Today in Nashua, this is the second of those 10 projects. This is Fidelity's largest annual employee volunteer effort. We expect more than 1,800 employees to take part, and their efforts will total more than 8,900 hours of community service, most of which will occur on weekends.
That's great. Thank you. And what you're seeing here right now, we're in the interior courtyard of the school, which is really a beautiful area here at Elm Street. And most of the folks here, several, are from the Fidelity Investments life insurance company, which has about 100 employees in Merrimack. They are obviously landscaping. There is work that is being done to the front entrance of the school, landscaping entrance work there. And once again, these folks have been out for about 2 hours now, working hard to beautify this piece of property. Walter, tell me what you folks have been doing out here for at least 2 hours now.
Some heavy weeding of courtyards, kind of prepping some flower beds for mulch and just general cleanup in the outside courtyards.
That's great. Have you done this type of volunteer activity before?
I have not.
That's great.
Nope.
What do you think of it so far?
It's phenomenal.
This is a work day.
Yeah.
And, can you talk a little bit about the opportunity to kind of give back to the community and what that means to you?
Sure, yeah. I know Fidelity employees for years. I see a lot of updates around campus about people volunteering, and I happen to live in Nashua, and my wife's a teacher in the school system, so it's a project that's kind of close to my heart, and I'm improving the schools and I have kids here, so I love that we have a company that does stuff like this.
That's great. And you're an expert landscaper as well.
Yeah, when I was 17, I was.
Excellent. This is one of the classrooms that you're seeing where Fidelity volunteers are painting the walls. Coat number, how many coats are we doing here?
On number 2.
On number 2. Is it drying quickly?
Not exactly.
Not exactly. It's a little hot and humid here, yeah. So we're doing a number of classrooms. We're kind of focusing this year in our second year on the classrooms, whereas last year we took care of the hallways at the school. So tell us what you're doing a little bit. It's kind of obvious, but what's the goal here for this room?
So we have a team from our office working together to paint this classroom. When we walked in, it was a pretty dreary gray and lots of chips, and you can see in about 2 hours we pretty much transformed it. The nice bright white on the walls and the red and the blue are spruced up, so it really changed a lot in a short time, which we're excited. It'll make a big difference when the kids come back to school this fall. Hopefully they'll feel like they've got a new place and be a good learning environment for them.
It looks great, and this is part of a team activity. Are you with several co-workers today?
Yes, I am. I have a whole group of people that we work with. We set up, I think we have 4 teams throughout the day, so we all wanted to be involved, and we're here working together, doing something a little different than we do in the office.
You are one of the more senior people at Fidelity in Merrimack, but you're also one of the more involved people in terms of your work in the community, what you do to volunteer. How do you maintain that balance, and or do you? And just speak to why you do that.
Sure. Well, I mean, for me, volunteering and giving back to the community is really important. As you mentioned, I do a lot of things both with Fidelity and outside Fidelity. I think anything to do with education is personally really important to me, just because I think learning is so important for the students, and they're our future Fidelity employees and future business leaders wherever they choose to go in their careers. So I think having a good place to learn is important. How do I balance that? I'm just busy. I don't have a great answer for that.
That's good enough.
My name is Mrs. Michael, and I'm one of the many wonderful teachers here at Elm Street Middle School. Mrs. Vlad mentioned with Fidelity and Boston that we were going to be doing renovations and murals in the school, so I thought it would be a good idea, where this is all about kids, to have kids involved and create their own design for the mural. And here we have 3 wonderful young men, Malcolm, Aaron, and Andrew. Malcolm and Andrew are going to the high school next year, so this is their legacy, to have their name on the mural, and Aaron will be in 8th grade. So they spent their time and came in and came up with ideas, and then I rearranged some things, sketched it on here, and they're doing a marvelous job painting. Having a good time, guys? Yeah. Okay. We also have 3 wonderful other helpers. 2 from Fidelity, and we have a mom also, so I'm going to give them the mic and they can say hi and what they're doing.
Hi, I'm Deborah Goodman. I'm Malcolm Goodman's mom, and I'm proud of him.
Hi, my name's Georgiana, and I work at Fidelity, and I came here to help do this mural, and it's really fun, having a good time.
Hi, I'm Shelley from Fidelity, and I feel like I really lucked out today, not having to be out in the heat and getting to work with such wonderful kids, and their parents really should be proud.
Hi, my name is Leslie Guthrow, and I am the Senior Manager of Community Relations for Fidelity Investments in Merrimack. And we have donated 30 PCs, 30 LCD projectors, and 15 laptops to Elm Street Middle School in Nashua. They will be used in classrooms for teacher use, as well as the laptops will be given to students to use one classroom at a time for related curriculum.
Hi, I'm Brittany Whitaker. I am an AmeriCorps Vista at Boston Cares. Today we are at the Elm Street Middle School working in the courtyards. Today we have volunteers going through all of the raised beds and weeding them all down so that next year the students will be able to have a fresh start with their planting in the fall. They're also removing all of the grass that's growing up through the mulch. If you actually look over by the trees, they've actually done all of that mulch already. That was all grown over this morning, so they've really made a lot of progress in a short amount of time. We've actually already finished the first courtyard. This is the second courtyard, and they are not deterred at all by the heat, so that's always exciting to see how dedicated they are. We've got a great group of people out today really trying to make a difference. Inside they're doing a lot of painting, but it is nice to be able to spruce up these outdoor spaces so that the children have some green space to learn in and enjoy.
I'm Kristen Corkum. I've been at Fidelity for about 4 years. I decided to do this because, one, I really like volunteering with Fidelity, most of their programs, and 2, I went here for junior high, so it was kind of one of those things where you want to get back to a school you've already been at, you know exactly the plan, the outline of the school, and you know that it's a great school, so you want to get back to a school that kind of helped you prosper and get this awesome job that I have right now.
My name is Meredith Mansfield. I've been at Fidelity for almost 11 years now. As Kristen said, as well, I also went to Elm Street as a junior high schooler, and I think I started really getting into volunteering in high school. I was actually part of a law and ethics class, and that was one of the requirements. So that's kind of where I got the bug for volunteerism, and I was just lucky enough to, once I graduated from college, end up at a company like Fidelity that really values giving back to the community and volunteerism. So as Kristen said, being able to come back to my junior high, which, led me to my high school, which ultimately led me to volunteerism, I think is really great. And I'm really excited to be able to give back and hopefully instill that in some of the students who are here now.
I'd like to discuss the development of the Elm Street and Fidelity Boston Care partnership. The relationship began with Fidelity reaching out to the school district and asking them for a school that was working on a community project. and we happened to be working on our courtyard renovations. So with the courtyard renovations, we had reached out to the community. We had bands playing so we could raise money to purchase plants. We also had a speaker come in and talk about gardening, and we had other events, but we weren't getting very far. So having Fidelity come in with their hundreds of volunteers, they were able to clear our courtyards, and they also were able to get us started on the road that we are on today. The first part was the courtyards. Fidelity also worked on painting in the building, and they painted all 3 floors and hallways. Today, they painted classrooms as well. We've had inspirational quotes placed. We've had technology donated, over 60 computers. We've also had laptops donated, and but they don't compare to the amount of man and woman power in order to get the building in tip-top shape. These are all things that would not have been done without Boston Care and Fidelity's presence. The students' impressions were incredible when they first came to school last year. Coming into a building that was now bright, some of the comments that they made were that it looked like a middle school. And also they felt that they felt important because they thought, how is it that people who do not know them would care enough to do this for them, to paint their school, to put up quotes, to take pride in how the school looked. So by seeing other people do that for them, students felt that they can do things for others as well. So it was a great lesson for our students. We had other accolades students said was that the building looked awesome, and it gave them a great sense of pride to be an Elm Street Middle School student. The students decided they wanted to send thank you notes to all of the employees at Fidelity and Boston Cares. And so each one, all 1,200 students, wrote individual notes to the staff. And some of the notes were extremely cute, and they talked about the quotes that were written, the inspirational quotes, and a couple had some ideas of other quotes that they'd like to see up on the walls. So one of the things, the first part, our first Transformation 1 and Transformation 2 have involved more of the superficial or building-wide type projects where I talked about painting and the quotes and furniture and technology and so forth. But now with this next phase, we're looking at working with students directly, which would be perfect because students wanted to know who the faces were behind all that has been done for them so far. The mentorships with the employees, working with students, also Fidelity employees teaching financial literacy classes or classes on career and paths that students can choose in order to be successful later on in life. Those are just some of the ideas that we've talked about for next year. We also are looking at working with our students during our advisory periods, which are in the afternoon. And during that time, students will work with Fidelity employees on any projects or just conversations about how they too can become an employee, if not of Fidelity, but other places later on in life.